And welcome to Danielle Happy Medium. For those who do not know me, I am Danielle, and it's obviously question answering time this evening on YouTube. I'll be waiting for a few of you to sort of join. I have obviously announced it on the Facebook page, so hopefully some of you will come along with your questions and your things for myself and about the spirit world and all things spiritual. Nothing is, off guard here, so you can talk to me about anything. Hi to Laura, thank you for joining. I am just going to quickly share this to the Facebook platform, so I hope you don't mind. Just sort of give me a moment. As you can see, we are in a completely different area of my home this evening. This is downstairs, unfortunately, because normally we're upstairs in the office. But there's work being conducted up there at the moment, so it's a little bit sort of up in the air upstairs at the moment, so I hope you appreciate the fact that we're downstairs. So hi to everybody who's just joining, it's nice to see you, and I hope you've got your questions and everything ready. I am just going to click into the stream. My apologies that I've obviously got to look this way because I've had to put the laptop here, so it's unfortunate, but it's just the way that it's going there, so I have to sort of keep turning, so please don't think that I'm being rude. And I'll obviously, in order to see your comments and things, I will need to obviously be able to read them, so my apologies on that there. So let me just share it to Facebook, then we'll go from there. All right, so let's have a look. So I hope everybody's well this evening, and I hope everybody's doing okay, and I hope that you have had a lovely day no matter what you are doing. So my apologies here. There we go. That's it, we'll just push it onto Facebook. So, hi to Laura, hi to Julie. Oh, there you are, Julie, my lovely question lady. I have fantastic news. I really do have fantastic news. Spirit class is now here. I have looked at the first. Hi to Bev as well. I have looked at the first video this evening that the company have done for me, and I am absolutely over the moon with it. It's so good. It's got bits and pieces of graphics in there, but really still sort of really about me, really sort of about, what I'm about and things like that. So because I didn't really want to make them too sort of out there for use as such, but I have seen the first one this evening. Well, I've actually seen two actually. I've got like obviously the intro, and then obviously we're going straight into talking about being mediums and psychics and things like that. So I'm really excited. This will be ready for use tomorrow, so therefore it should be ready for use to be able to watch. I hope you enjoy them. I've had such a bash doing them, and I've really enjoyed it. You look really radiant tonight. Well, thank you. I've just had my hair done, so it could be that. I've had like loads of purples and lilacs and things put through it, and pinks and things. I'm going to be punk rockery. I think I'm not in a midlife crisis, but I certainly think there's a change in the air, as I would like to say. And I think when you know what they say, change your hair, change your you. So I definitely do agree with that. For anything with connections to my training, please head on over to my website, which is www.daniellehappymedium.com, and I did start this weekend with my own mentorship program. It's the first one that I've done since moving into the training program area there, and I'm really excited with some of the results that I'm already getting from my girls who are in that group there. So for this year the mentorship program is full, but I have 3 spaces available for next year. 2 spaces have already gone as of next year, but more September of this year, but obviously definitely going into 2019. There's certainly a lot more training in there, and more in-house training, which is in a hotel that I've been able to get. How's the trans work coming? We'll talk a little bit about that there, Julie, as well. So basically there'll be a lot more in-house training, which will be done also online as well for those who are further afield from me. If you're interested in any of my training, please do drop me a line at askme@daniellehappymedium.com, or if you want to get in touch with me via the Facebook page, then please do get it, which is Danielle Happy Medium there. Please do share this video around. I'd be really grateful. Do subscribe, so do sort of hit that notification bell there as well. With connections to my trans, I have got a trans workshop going on myself next year, which again is in-house over a 2-day period. Can be done in one, but I'd recommend that you do 2. But my trans is coming along really well, thank you. We're having excellent results, and my gentleman is continuing to surprise me each and every day. I seem to surprise myself as a medium each and every day as well. I think every day working for the spirit world is a new experience, a new avenue, a new thing to learn. And I'm always keen to learn, and I'm always keen to understand things more, and I'm always wanting to progress and learn, because I think, it's an inside job as well as working for the spirit world. So I'm always really happy to sort of learn and grow and evolve with the spirit world. And they're quite so happy to share their knowledge with us with me. I know they probably share a lot of knowledge with lots of other people and other mediums, but I know my man is always keen to share his knowledge with me so that I can share it with you. And as time goes on, yes, I'll be able to see him. And as I've spoke about it before, I'm going to be opening a trans group up on Facebook, and this will be only a vetted group, so there'll only be the certain people who can come into this group. But you will be able to see me there in trance, and you'll be able to ask my guides all sorts of things, or my man all sorts of things, and he will endeavour to do his very, very best to answer you to the best of his ability. I'm very sure of that with him, because I know him well. He is here this evening. He is going to be joining us. So hi to everybody who's just joining, and I hope you're well. Hi to Tammy and everybody. So have you got any questions for me? I know you are all saying that my hair looks lovely, so thank you very much for that. You probably can't see it with the light and things the way it is, but it's really, really pretty when you get up close and personal to it. And it's got a lot of this like very sort of white grey sort of tones to it as well, which is all the rage at the moment. I'm trying to look younger these days, as you do. I think we're always fighting the age, but that's that. So any questions about the spirit world, anything to do with my training, anything that you maybe would like to ask me, anything that you feel is holding your mediumship back, if I've got mediums on here, any question, I will endeavour to answer to the best of my ability. If I don't have the answer, I'll tell you I don't have the answer, because I don't know everything. I can only speak from personal experience or advice and guidance that I may get from the gentleman or my gentleman, if he so feels that advice needs to come over there. But yes, I'm always open to giving you my knowledge, or how to build your knowledge base set better there, or any fears that you may have around and about your mediumship, or anything that you feel is stopping you from moving forward. Because I know a lot of mediums speak to me time and time again going, Danielle, how do you move forward? How do you keep pushing your mediumship forward? What do you do that maybe I could do to sort of make things do better? Love the work, Danielle. Keep shining. Thank you very much, Debbie. I really do appreciate that. And they're always sort of asking me, and it's always fear that I seem to find that keeps mediums back, or anybody back for that matter, with connections to their mediumship. They've either found a sort of a blockage, or they've sort of chosen not to allow their mind to open up in order for the spirit world to be able to access that. The only person that really does hold your mediumship back is you. Once over, I maybe wouldn't have agreed with that, but as I've progressed further down the path, I've become very aware that it very much is us as mediums that do hold us back, or us as humans who hold us back, I would say, with connections to either emotional problems, this type of thing, X, Y, and Z. What happened on Sunday with the voice change? So, as a lot of you know, because I was talking about this on Facebook the other day, I was at Horden SNU Church doing a demonstration of mediumship alongside philosophy. For all them who maybe don't know what philosophy is where a medium will allow the spirit world to step forward and sort of inspire their mind and to talk about the things that they so want to talk about. So basically, my gentleman stepped forward, as you know. He sort of overshadowed and sort of I started to take on characteristics of him, and I allow him as close as he feels he needs to be. It's a trust thing. I trust my man implicitly. He tells me something, then I bet my bottom dollar it's right, and I might just not be aware of it right now, but he's always bang on the pennies there. But what happened is that he stepped forward. I allowed him to sort of step into or blend with my energy or blend with my mind. And as he did, he sort of stepped forward a little bit more and sort of took on little bits of me. I sort of got a hold of, some of my voice box there in order to be able to use that to speak through me as I was standing. Now, was I fully awake and conscious? Yes. But do I feel my mind had altered a little bit? Yes, because of the trance work that I do. I am very much aware now of them altered states and where them altered states are. So he was allowed to sort of step in because I have no fear of trance. You see, I was never a trance medium, a mental medium. who uses the clairs, as most of you probably know. So what happens is because of the fact that I don't have any fear built in round and about my trance, I just allow whatever needs to come in there, because of the fact that I don't have anything here stopping that. So anything that happens is like a brand new experience to me. So I find it all very intriguing and very sort of interesting. So I'm prepared to probably go to any lengths because of the fact that there's nothing there stopping me from going from A to Z. Nothing, because I don't know any different. Does this make sense? So basically, because trance is new to me, and because of the fact that, hold on a minute there, folks. So basically, because trance is new to me, and because I've never done trance before, and because I haven't been taught trance in any other way, nor have I had anybody interfere with my mediumship or my trance work, I just sort of allow it to go on. So basically he has full control, and because I trust my guide so implicitly, I just allow him to do whatever he feels he needs to do. So therefore, because I know he's not going to harm me, I know he's not going to make a fool of me, I know that he's got my back no matter what in the spirit world and here on the earth plane, as much as he's allowed to, because obviously remember he's a spirit, but you know he can and does not interfere, but will sort of keep me safe no matter what. So I just allow him to do what he needs to do on Sunday. And I said to him, I says, I need you to come forward, I need you to inspire me, I need the spirit world to inspire me. The rest is up to you. You come in, you do what you need to do, and I'll just stand. And that's exactly what I did. I just stood and I just allowed him to do whatever he did. And as a result of that, a lot of people got to hear my guide on Sunday evening when sitting, listening to the philosophy, and it was completely and utterly, there was no Danielle in there. It was all just the spirit world, which was a beautiful experience for everybody who was at Horden Church on Sunday evening. The president of the church had said that she hadn't seen anybody work like I'd worked in years. You know, she was absolutely shocked to the core. And I'm striving ever so much, and this is very much what my spirit class is about, very much about my Facebook page. It's very much about everything that I do as a medium, is to show you that you can do anything you want to do if your mind allows it, and that you can go to any lengths with the spirit world if you free that mind. And I'm finding that my mind is free, and more and more and more and more and more, to the point where I've become where I just accept. Where once over I would have pushed back and I would have like gone, no. Hi, Catherine, darling. I'm not allowing that. Now I'm just like, give me it. Give me everything you've got, what you got for me. Let's see where we can take this. I'm ready. Let's go. And then the spirit world are like, well, hey, we've been waiting for you. And I'm just like, let's go, whether it be with my mental mediumship or my trance work now. It's just, I'm ready, I'm open, I'm not going to interfere, I'm not going to get involved. You just do whatever it is that you feel that you need to do in order to get your point across as a spirit world, because that's ultimately what I am. I'm just a vessel. As a medium, that's all you ever want, and you will watch this when you see the spirit class start to come up, that all we are for the spirit world is a vessel. We're not there to get involved in the communication. We're not there to step in the way. We are just then to stand and just allow our mind to become free and do as it leads to do. So when these loved ones or communicators come forward, we're just allowing them to step in, work with our mind and work with our energy as they so see fit, and allow that communication to go on. So whether that be through factual based evidential mediumship, which is your facts, which is your dates, your numbers, your times, you know, this type of thing, or more of a storytelling medium where you're talking about the communicator, you're talking about their life and adding that factual evidence in there as well, which I do both now. Once over I couldn't do both, I could just do factual, but now I've taught myself through the spirit world and working with the spirit world to now do factual mediumship or factual evidential mediumship, but also to do storytelling mediumship as well. And anybody who's probably been watching my gigs over the last, I would say, 6 months will have seen that quite strongly. My work has continued to change and evolve because I believe in being the all-rounded medium. I like to be able to do everything and anything, even if I don't do it to the best of my ability. I like to be able to have that knowledge base in here in my mind, so that when I am training mediums, I have everything with me. Because I will get different students who come to me who have completely different sort of techniques. I will have some students who are totally factual based and will never be able to tell a story of a communicator. And that's just the way that they do their mediumship, and there's nothing wrong with that. I know a lot of mediums who do that, and now that's great and stuff. But then I'm going to get other mediums who come to me who are storytelling mediums, who do talk about the story of their communicator with that factual evidence based in there as well. And if I haven't done that, or I'm not doing that, then how am I meant to be able to train somebody? How am I meant to be able to give them the things, or the tool base, or the spiritual toolbox, if I haven't been through it myself? It's like you losing somebody, with connections to, maybe because I haven't lost my mother, I don't understand that connection to the best of its ability, but I've lost my nana who was like my mother, so I can relate, and I can build my mediumship around that. So when I get this mother and communicator forward, I can then step into that and work with my nana and how I felt when I lost my nana, and work that link to the best of its ability. And every communicator that I work with is different. I have never yet to find two communicators who work the same way. I find every communicator works differently, even though they're going to try to work with me to the best of my ability as a medium. They're going to use the clairs that are most strongest with me in order to get that communication over, because it's going to be the easiest way. But again, not every spirit is going to work the same as another spirit. So this is why we have a range of clairs, if this makes sense. And people say to me, well, why would just working with one clair? Because every communicator is working with a different range or a different connection to them there. So that's how it is in their best interest as a medium to build these clairs. Every clair that's available. There's 5 main clairs, but there's about 12 clairs out there all in total. And you should be working each and every one of them clairs, or working with your spirit team, in order to be able to at least understand that clair to the best of its ability, also that you can incorporate that into your work if and where you need it. Never limit yourself as a medium. I find loads of mediums limit themselves. Oh, well, I'm clairvoyant. I'm just clairvoyant. No, you're not. You are a medium. You can use all 12 clairs. Why aren't you using all of these 12 clairs? Don't limit yourself. Oh, well, I just work clairvoyant and that's all I know. Then let me help you explore them. As a teacher and as a medium, let me show you how you can explore them to the best of your ability, and allow you to be able to free your mind, so that the spirit world can come in, interact with you, and you be able to give some of the best evidence. Because what we're forgetting here time and time again is that evidence is so important. We are, as mediums, proving survival of the soul. We are proving evidence of proof that life ever after, that the soul continues to evolve around and about us. And this isn't about the being in Asda with you on a Thursday afternoon, or that type of thing. That's probably going to come in on a psychic link. That's not going to come in on evidential mediumship. Why on earth is your mother going to want to walk around Asda with you while you're picking out your beans? Do you know what I mean? She's not. Your mother was going to be there when there's been a major incident in your life, when she's been in the spirit world. So we're looking for this evidence to support that and to show that, along with the evidence of your mother or your father or whoever it is that maybe will come forward, if your dates and your times and this type of thing. And who is your mum? Because it's important. I think I found that doing too much factual evidential mediumship can be quite cold, and I think that most communicators aren't cold. They're very, very warm people. Of the majority of communications I've done over the last 4 years, I would say in a handful of them, most of them have only been, not maybe the most cheeriest of people, or have been a little sort of standoffish or whatever it may be, because that was their personality. But I find the vast majority of loved ones that I work with are certainly very warm, very kind, very gracious individuals. So why wouldn't I want to tell the story of this loved one packed in with that evidence there? Why wouldn't I? Now, not everybody can get this storytelling because it comes on an emotional level. You got to have some warmth about your soul. You've got to have some compassion in you. You've got to, understand them types of things. And I know a lot of people don't always work that way. Some people are very logical in the way that they work. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you can get that warmth in there as well, you're talking about your mum, you're talking about my dad. And a medium said something to me the other week, and I was really quite took aback by it. And it was a saying which was, You never remember what somebody says, but you always remember how they made you feel. And I think that resonates throughout all of our life. But it's also when you're with the medium as well. If you can get that closeness with the spirit world, or you feel that closeness of your loved ones, I think it outweighs the facts. It outweighs them. And I'm incredibly good at doing that, is bringing that spirit world to you, getting you to feel the spirit world, knowing that the spirit world's there with you, and that your mother, even if it is for just that 10 minutes or half an hour, you're sitting in the company of your mother. And I think that far outweighs anything with wow and a full names or addresses, and well and stuff is really good, and I can do all of that. I like the more I would like to spend half an hour with my nana, just sitting with her like I used to, and you know, holding her hand, or just drinking a cup of tea, and just them old times there. And I think that's what makes a message. That's what really gets a message. So let's take a look at some of your questions anyway. My apologies that I've got to sort of look this way because I've got to look at the laptop. But anyway, so hi to everybody who's just joined, and I'm really pleased that you've joined. Julie saying, how do you prepare before a gig? Do you need to sit quiet, or can you just get spirit from the start? After a show, you're exhausted, or does it depend on how spirit used you on that night? Great question, Julie. Every gig's different, every event's different. I never get two events that are ever the same, whether it be SNU Church, Awareness Centre, or a demonstration of my own there. I tend to find that I don't need to sit. When I first started out, you know, I used to sit, and, you know, I would maybe have a look round to see who was there, you know, because I needed to make sure that that first link was there, and, you know, was I going to have that link even going to be there? Was the spirit world going to be there? You know, this type of thing. And I think that's very, very that happens very much when we start out as newbies. One, we don't want to fall flat on our face. Two, we don't want to show ourselves up. And three, we don't want to, you know, upset yous as well. So I was very aware of that when I first started out. I made sure when I first started demonstrating as such. I've found as my mediumship has grown, and as I have grown with my mediumship and my spirit people, now I'm standing chatting with people. Not that I'm chatting about anything to do with the spirit world, or who they've come to speak to, or anything like that. I just sort of, you know, pop round. Everybody okay? Got everything you need on the tables? You know, I'm very sort of interactive in that respect. But I found that now at about 20 past, now about 10 past, quarter past, I use my gigs. There's my mobsters, by the way, in the background. I'm sorry about that, the cat's in there. I tend to find that about 10 past, quarter past now, I stand and sort of try and teach the general public about the difference between psychics and mediums. And then I just go straight into my mediumship, and I can be stood if all the ingredients are right, as I would say, which is the energy's right, the communications are right, the people are right, they've got the right sitters on the night. I could be there all night talking about the spirit world, giving messages, you know, whatever it may be. I can also find that on some demonstrations I've maybe got some people who are a little restrictive, or some people, or I'm a little tired that day, or my mind's not as free as I would like it to be, and I can tend to find that sometimes I have to work that little bit more for that evidence. So, you know, and again, this is where I talk about some people just want facts, other people do want to hear that story around their communicator. So I have to find the balance between that as a medium, as to what communicator I've got working with me, and the reciprocate, or the person who's taking that message there as well. So I can find some demonstrations, Julie, like I say, I can go on for hours. Others, you know, I feel like I feel like I'm like looking and I'm thinking, I'm waiting for this to be over. But never because of the fact that I'm working with the spirit world, just because it hasn't been the right night for me. And I don't see a lot of mediums talk about that, about demonstrations or their events or anything in respect of that, where they've had a crap night. We always see the very positive side of, you know, we've had a cracking night, evidential mediumship, you know, phenomenal night, you know, X, Y, and Z. You know, I'm probably, you know, I don't see many mediums talk about how they've had an absolutely shit demonstration, you know, to be fair. And have I had some shit demonstrations, Julie? Without a shadow of a doubt. Have I walked away and thought, oh my effing God, you know, what on earth is going on here? Yeah, definitely, without a shadow of a doubt. And then in the same respect, have I had some absolutely phenomenal nights? Yes, as well. So with an answer to your question, now I just sort of, when I first started out, it was very much looking and sort of, it's a trust thing. I feel now is I trust my team a lot more. In fact, I trust them implicitly. I know the spirit world's going to be there. I know they're going to turn up. I've got no issues or problems with that. And I think sometimes it's just depending on how free my mind is on that particular, how much I've got going on, can also affect that type of thing there as well. But thanks for your question all the same there. Danielle truly saying, Danielle, is there anything in your work as a medium you have found very challenging? Lots of things, to be fair, Julie, that from my work, with the fact that my mind's not always as free as it could be, to the stigma that comes within mediumship as well, and the fact that when you're good, there's plenty of people out there that want to pull that work to death and sort of destroy you as a medium. And I find this game to be a very jealous game. Nobody likes anybody to be sitting on top form because they really want to be on top form. What have I found really challenging? The fear, getting over the fear. I'll be very honest with you, I probably was a very fear-based medium when I started out as a newbie, and even up until about 2 years ago, I would even go as far as to say that I was. But I would say in the last 18 months, I've made big progress in that department. One, probably because I trust my people more now. Two, because I'm probably in a better place as a person as well. Three, and because of the fact that they've proved beyond a shadow of a doubt time and time again that it's right. So I've now learned to accept and sort of just go with the flow in that sense. But have I found it challenging? Yeah, I found the general public to be quite challenging as well. They are very critical there at times. They've certainly got your opinions. I do find as well, when you become a really popular medium like me, and is known for being able to pull whatever communicator or being able to get this kind of evidence or that kind of evidence, what tends to happen is people's expectations are up here. And sometimes I don't always hit that expectation or that bar, which can then have a knock-on effect to me because of the fact that I feel I haven't been able to fulfill my purpose as a medium. I've also found that I'm at times with my mediumship, I'm incredibly hard on myself, and really I shouldn't be that hard on myself. But yeah, there's been lots of challenges. I mean, have I wanted to walk away from my mediumship? Yeah, and I've got to be honest, 6 months ago, I was in a position, I was talking to a good friend of mine in in another spiritualist church, actually only a few weeks ago. And this lady's a world-renowned medium. And she was up watching another medium who I was watching at the time. And I was at the point where I was going to pull out of my mediumship altogether, and there's only been 3 instances in the space of 4 years that I felt like that, and I was ready for pulling out my mediumship probably about 6 to 8 weeks ago due to the ongoing issues that I'd had, the onslaught not only from this particular person but also from a fellow medium in another area, and the things that had been said, and I was ready for pulling out of my mediumship and stepping away because I just couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't take the constant the hassle, if that makes sense. So has it been challenging? Yes, without a doubt of a doubt. But in the same token, Julie, has it brought its greatest rewards? Yes. Have I learned a lot about myself? Or without a shadow of a doubt, and my mediumship? Do I have a lot more to learn? Oh yes, without a shadow of a doubt, and I will continue to learn not only as a medium but also as a human there as well. But yeah, it has had its challenges. In fact, I'd say there's more challenges than there is worse. But I love the spirit world, and they're a passion of mine, and I think until you're actually working with the spirit world on a full-time basis, it's really hard to sort of get that over to people, so people sort of understand it. It's like it's not a buzz. I wouldn't say it's a buzz, but I would just say it's a place of peace, and it's a place of happiness, and I got a great lot of joy from bringing them two worlds together, even if it is for just a short space of time there. It's not about the money. I've said this before and I'll probably say it again. It's not about the money. It's not about, the status. It's not about, whether I'm, top dog or the best evidential medium or whatever it may be. I get the biggest pleasure from being able to deliver that message in such a way that no doubt beyond a shadow of a doubt that I've had that loved one, they know that, and they've gone away with some kind of peace within their heart, knowing that their loved ones are still in a good place and that they're still with them, supporting them no matter what. And for me, that's what keeps me in the mediumship game. That's what keeps driving me every day. My to teach people, to educate people, to get people understanding mediumship more, to be more aware of the spirit world and what goes on within the spirit world, because there's so much what I call bad press about the spirit world, from whether it be trance work, whether it be mental mediumship, to whatever it may be. And I want to continue to support and help the spirit world to get that moment there, or get their knowledge out there into the general public, because I think it's been sitting there for such a long time that unfortunately, you know, the general public is so wishy-washy now. They don't know what's the truth or not the truth. They don't know who's speaking the truth and who's not speaking the truth. So there's ultimately so much confusion now that people don't know what's the difference between psychics and mediums. We've got people, you know, out there talking all sorts of jargon, and people are like, whoa, I don't know what that means. Then you've got people who are watching psychics and thinking, oh, well, that's medium. And they're just, people are so confused, and people are hearing things about Ouija boards saying that they do this and they do that. Then they're watching the Hollywood sort of stuff and they're thinking, oh my God, does them things really go on? X, Y, and Z. So I tend to find that the lack of knowledge is massive out there, and I'm finding that, you know, people are hearing such old, what I would call old wives' tales or old myths, and this is what spirit class is about, a bust open. It's about a bust open in the most nicest way possible, because you know me, I'm probably straight to the point and quite simple in my approach, is to try and get yous understanding that there's more to the spirit world than just what you're hearing out there in the general public. And if I can change a couple of minds, then I'm doing something right. And that is a real passion and a real drive for me at this time, along with my work and continuing to support the spirit world and showing that difference between the evidential and the psychic ability, so that yous know the difference, so that yous know, and then also so yous can get to feel the spirit world and understand the spirit world, because that's one of the best feelings in the world. And me, it's a privilege every day for me to work for the spirit world, and I'm humbly grateful every day. So let me take loads more of your questions, because I know some more of them come in. Anyway, so let me take a look. Julie says, what would you say has been the greatest achievement as a medium, or is there a special moment that you can share with us? Oh, wow, that's a good one. I tell you, there was a particular reading I did, maybe it's about two and a half years ago. There was a lady coming, I think I've spoke about this before, but there was a lady coming to see me. She wasn't actually taking a reading. Her friend had booked. And what had happened was she'd decided while she was here, because this lady was one of the last appointments of the evening, I think it was about 7 o'clock, something like that. And she said, would you have time to fit me in? And I said, yeah, you know, I've got no issue with that. She sat herself down, and I said to her, I said, look, I'm very aware of Mother here. And she just burst out crying. And I just sort of, you know, when people cry, I know to just sort of pull my energy back a little bit, give them a moment just to compose themselves, find them hankies, keep my composure and keep my professionalism, but also be compassionate with it there as well, because it's important. That's part of who I am, and I know that that's important with my clientele. And anyway, she sort of, you know, and I was like, are you all right? You know, do you want me to continue? You know, and she was like, yes. She says, I've been waiting to hear from my mum for 25 years. She says, I've been to see some of the best in the industry. She says, my mum's never come in. So anyway, we got started and we brought all this evidence forward, you know, and it was all true and accurate. And that lady went away from me that night, and she has told me since then that she has found great peace in that reading. She has found great happiness and an acknowledgement that her mother is fitting well in the spirit world, and that her mother still continues to this day to support her here to the earth. And that's going to be one of probably the most biggest achievements of my mediumship, or one of the most positive experiences. Other ones have been where I've brought the younger generation forward. There was a particular lady and her father a particular lady and her husband who come to see me. These are actually local people to me. Now, I didn't know this at the time, but they had lost their daughter through a connection to anaphylactic shock. And they were totally grief-struck and absolutely, and I can understand that, you know. I understand them connections, and I understand how, you know, losing any child is incredibly hard for anybody, and I understand that because I've been there. and you know, I was talking with them and I was giving them the evidence of the daughter, and then again also the father was weeping in the chair. He was absolutely blown away, and he was so humbly grateful. So are they some of my more magical moments? Yes. With the spirit world, what's the most magical moments I've seen up there? Everything and anything. It's all magical. I cannot even tell you one particular thing is the best of it all, because I find everything that I do for them in every way, every day is something new. So I have to be really sort of grateful every day for all of that. So there's some of the special moments. Some of the others that I've done have been demonstrations of mediumship. Hordness, a new church, would probably want to be one of my most recentest ones. I was down at Hornley in Ipswich a couple of weeks ago, as probably some of you know. That also was probably one of my better demonstrations, or one of the best demonstrations that I've done to date, as was Horden Spiritualist Church probably on Sunday evening. And I just knew in that church that night, the same with down at Hornley at Ipswich, we knew, you could tell the spirit world was in the room. You knew that the spirit world was there with you. There was nothing that could have made you doubt for 1 second that that spirit world wasn't in that room with us that evening. It was just magical. It was magical. That one in Ipswich and the one in Horden on Sunday evening was some of the best demonstrations I think I've ever done. And you know, I would also say another one was where I did at Seaham Church, where there was nearly 300 people come to watch me demonstrate at Seaham Church, and that was last summer, about a year ago. Come either June or July. And that was probably one of my biggest achievements there as well. Not because of the people, because of the evidence and the fact that so many people believed in my mediumship that they come along to watch me work that night. And I'm humbled every time that people come to watch me work, and that people go away from me and have such a great experience. And that's all I ever ask of the spirit world, no more, no less. So let me take a look anyway and say some more of your comments. So Debbie saying shared again, so thank you very much for sharing that. Emma's saying, when you find feathers, do you keep them? Yeah, of course. If that suits you, Emma. Yeah, of course. There's no issues or problems with that. You know, feathers are just a sign from your loved ones, or maybe from your angels, or you know, your guardian angel, or even your guides. If you're sort of working with the spirit world more on a more professional level, or an intermediate level for that matter. You know, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, a lot of people say, oh, it's just love and light. It's love and light. Look, who am I to say what it is or what it isn't? If you find great comfort in that, and you find great, you know, happiness in that, then who am I as a medium or anybody else for that matter to take that from you? You know, that is for you and you alone. It is being sent for you, or you have that from your loved ones. So who am I to rain on your parade and say, no, that's not right, or, you know, you shouldn't think them things. And and I believe that, you know, we are all unique in our own individuality, and we are all our own person, and we have our own beliefs and our own sort of thought patterns and our own sort of opinions and things like that. Some people will agree with your opinion, some people will not. Some people will like you and some people will not. And I just find that, you know, you find whatever resonates with you. And I tell my students this time and time again, and the general public, you know, you take what resonates with you, dump the rest, let it go, you know, just forget about it, because ultimately it's important that you do what's important for you and nobody else there. And if you feel that them feathers have come from the spirit world for you, then you take that as that acknowledgement and you keep them if that's what you feel you need to do. If you feel you need to give them back or put them back where you found them, do it. If not, you want to keep it, by all means do that as well. There is no right or wrong here. There is no, you know, I do this, so you therefore should do that. You always do what feels best for you, no matter what, and no matter what people say, and no matter how much people say you're wrong or indifferent. If it feels good and it feels like it's right for you, then by all means do it there. All right, so I hope that brings you some answers to your question there, Emma. Julie saying again, may I ask Danielle, have you ever had a crap spirit guide who hasn't given you the wrong information? Nope. No, Julie. The only time that happens is when Danielle's got either in a place of fear or Danielle's mind's not open enough. Why, you know, a spirit guide or a loved one isn't going to give me information that's not true and correct. It's the fact that I've either misheard it wrong, or I haven't allowed my mind to allow that information in as it should have been. So there is no, and I said this the other day, you know, on the Facebook platform, but I'll talk about it a little bit here as well. There is no actual bad people in the spirit world. There is elements of people who are still progressing. People who are still progressing, or people who are vibrating at certain vibrations. So basically what happens is that, you know, when we do, you know, not so good things down here, when we go back to the spirit world, we go into the soul groups in which that we resonate with, because that's where our soul's vibrating at. What will then happen is if that soul chooses to sort of progress and move forward, then what happens is that they will then start to move into different soul groups and learn within them soul groups to continue to keep evolving, just as we do down here. You know, some of the things that I did a year ago, I don't do now. Why? Because it doesn't serve me to do them. I've learned the lessons, or I've learned whatever it is I need to learn, and I've kept moving forward there. So, and with respect to your question, Julie, have I ever had wrong information? It's never wrong. It's just the fact that I've either heard it wrong, or I've allowed me to step in the way of the communication with the guide or the communicator, or I'm not allowing that information to come in as it should do, because I've either got a fear built in there, or my mind's not allowing it, or the mechanics of my mind, or how I've got my mind structured isn't allowing that to go on there. So no is the answer to that question there. How does a pendulum work? So pendulums are a tool, as is tarot cards, is, you know, these type of things. There's nothing wrong with them. They are just a sort of an ability to sort of tap into the energy that's around and about you, or around and about your client, or around and about a sitter. Basically, instead of reading energy by looking at it, or feeling it, or tasting it, or hearing it, because you can hear energy. I mean, I hear energy. It's like a vibration. It's like buzzing. It's like bzzz in my ears and stuff. It happens, and it happens even more when I'm doing healing and stuff. But that's another. We'll get onto that in a minute. But it's just where you are reading energy, but using a tool instead. So what is a pendulum? It is a tool which allows you to read the energy of a sitter, of you, of the universe, or the spirit world there. Who is moving the pendulum? Now, that can be altered in two ways. So one, you could be either interfering it with your own energy vibration, so you could be pushing it, or moving it whichever way. Or it could be that you've actually tapped into that universal energy, or you've tapped into your energy, or you've tapped into a higher conscious energy, which is the spirit world, or your higher being there. So you have to sort of know the difference. So what you do is you would test the pendulum. You would see if you're working with the spirit world already, then what you would do is wait for your people to come forward, whether you feel them, hear them, see them, and ask them to tune into that pendulum for you. And they will then give you that answers through that pendulum. If you're using just your own energy, or you're aware of your own energy, or you're just tuning into that energy through the pendulum, then remember that's going to be your conscious mind allowing that to go on there. So you have to be very careful with them tools and how you're adapting them, or how you're using them, in order to make sure that you're getting the best results possible. But if you're using your higher self of your own energy, then why wouldn't you get the right answers? Because your inner being knows what is best and what is good for you. So always remember that there. People forget that inside of us, our soul already knows all the answers. It is just that our free side of the ego doesn't allow them free answers to come forward, or we've built in fears either through bad relationships, we've got trust issues, we've got emotional problems, we've lost people really young. So we're constantly fighting this, where the soul already knows who's good for you, who's not good for you, what feels good, what doesn't feel good. And this conscious mind will interfere all of the time, because it likes to. And it's only when you quieten this and allow this to come forward does your soul actually get an opportunity to talk as it should do there. A lot of people knock off that side of them, or they will hear or listen to the social media or the mediums, whatever it may be, because they're talking their kind of language. So I'm like, well, I'm going to listen to that because that resonates with me. But what really should do is what we've just been talking about there, is always listen to you, because you is really important there. And what your soul is about is what it really does know. And it's important that your soul is listened to there all of the time. So your pendulum, use it. Just remember, if you're using it for your guides, then make sure you're connecting to them when they come forward. If not, use that pendulum to connect into the higher side of life of your soul, and it will give you the true and honest answers if you are true and honest with yourself. All right? So can I leave that with you? So thanks for your question, by the way. Becky's saying, how do we open our minds as my head is always full of everything? You've already answered your own question, Becky. That is what I've just been talking about. So the conscious mind is here. So the conscious mind is ego. Conscious mind is anything to do with no trust, having fears, having anxieties, having stress, thinking that people are trying to take your power, thinking that people's playing games, thinks that people's doing this, people's doing that. That's your ego talking. That's what it's talking. Your ego is talking to you there. Because why would anybody want to harm another human unless you've done something to that? But really, in essence, you know, we are all here to love each other in whichever way, shape or form that may be. All right. So when you ask me the question of how do you open your mind, you don't need to open your mind. You need to quieten your mind. There's a difference. By quietening your mind, you then allow your inner being to talk to you. You allow it to tell you what it needs to know. You allow the higher side of life to come forward, which is the spirit world and your guides. How do you do that, Danielle? People's always asking me these questions. How do you do that? How do you get them things to work for me? Because they never can work for me. They don't work for me, X, Y, and Z. And people think meditation is the way forward. People think that, you know, that's the way. And while meditation is very good for them types of things, it's good for lowering blood pressure, it's good for, you know, quieting the mind, it's good for sort of relaxation, you know, these types of things. Excellent for them types of things, which is sort of good for quieting the mind. But I'm a great believer in sitting in the power. Sitting in the power is allowing your mind to go completely quiet. So you're not thinking about anything or nothing. And by doing that, what you then do is become aware of your energy. You'll become aware of how you're projecting your energy, the way in which that you're projecting your energy, what your energy feels like, which then in turn allows your inner soul to talk to you, your inner being. So when I'm sitting for the power, I sit and I think of nothing. Right, which is it for me was really hard at one time because my mind was incredibly busy like yours, and from time to time it still does. If I've got quite a bit going on, or I've got chew elsewhere, or there's some kind of drama going on, that can start to make my mind like sort of tick a little bit more there. So what I do is I sit in the power a little bit more there to keep that space, to keep that mindset, to keep it where it's supposed to be, because the slightest interference will allow it. And what sitting in the power also does is learns you to discipline your mind. So what it will do is it will teach you to keep them thoughts in a good place, so they are not running rampant, they are not doing your head in, as I would say. Because what happens is when your mind's overthinking, like what you've just said to me there, you're thinking of scenarios, you're thinking of everything and anything, you're making mountains out of molehills. And as much as I know that probably doesn't sound very nice, it's the truth. It's the goddamn truth, right? We have already been judge, jury and executor all in the space of 15 minutes, because we're thinking, Jesus Christ, you know, what am I going to do? X, Y, and Z, you know, I haven't got no money, And what instead of you doing is just, I mean, I do this. I don't sweat it on the top line about money. I just leave it all at the universe. I'm like, yeah, look, you know, you'll deliver whatever you feel I need to have. And I just live my life like that. I just take each day as it comes. Once over, I never used to be like that. Now, for about, I would say about 2 years, I'm just like, you do whatever it is that you need to do. And have they failed me yet? No. Why? Because I trust in the process. I trust in the universe. I trust in the spirit world. I trust in something that I cannot see, feel, touch, just like oxygen. But I know that they're going to deliver for me. And every time I do a demonstration now, I know that spirit world's going to deliver for me. And that's where I keep my headspace all of the time now. It's not that I don't trust in humans. I just find that humans can be unreliable. There's a lot of humans do a lot of promising and they don't always deliver on that one. And that's okay. That's because they've either got an issue with themselves or there's some kind of problem going on there. But I tend to find with overthinking, that is why. So what I would recommend for you, dearie, is to sit in the power. And I have got a meditation sitting in the power coming up in spirit class, probably within about the next 3 or 4 videos there. So in spirit class will be available from tomorrow there as well. So I hope that answers your question a little bit there for you. Julie saying, who inspired you, Danielle, from the working as a medium? Do you have an idol? Ooh, I tell you, I read a few different books. What inspired me to be a medium? All my life, I've always done or given to another, whether it be through my care work, whether it be through my district work, whether it be through working for the NHS. And I've always been a very compassionate person, a very humble person, and a very easygoing kind of person, I would say. And I've watched many, many people pass to the spirit world, and I've watched many, many people struggle with grief. And I've always been very aware of how hard that can be for people there. So did that inspire me to sort of... did that inspire me? You're welcome, Becky. Did that inspire me to sort of be a medium? No, it didn't. No, I've got to be honest with you. Did I always know I was different? Yes. And I'll tell you a little story about, I was trying about this actually at Horden Church on Sunday night. From being a kid, I always knew I was a bit different. And to be honest, I would say I am a bit weird. And I am probably a bit weird to some people, you know, especially if you don't sort of scrape beneath the surface type of thing. But I always knew, I thought I was adopted, you know, as a kid. I thought I was adopted. I thought that, you know, I wasn't meant to be in the family and that I was in, because it felt like I didn't fit there. And I felt like that very much all my life, where I haven't fitted in, or I found that what the people thought, I didn't really agree with that. For some unknown reason, it just didn't feel right for me. It didn't sit in my soul. It was like, I don't feel that's the truth. It's as if like, I can't explain it. It's like inside of me, it's like there's like this inner truth. It's as if like there's something in here that knows something, but I don't know what that is, if that makes sense. So for a long time, and for all of my life, and probably still to this day, I still feel very much like that. Even though I work with the spirit world, I feel more at home now because I work for them. It's as if I've gone home, and it's as if like I sort of understand where I'm meant to be and what I'm meant to be doing, if that makes sense. So with connections, do I have an idol? I have to be honest with you, no, nah. I just tend to be me. I just do my own work. I do my work to the best of my ability with in the way that the spirit world want me to do it there. So I tend to find that I don't have a particular idol. Do I sort of like Gordon Higgins's book? Yes, which is on the side of angels. Why? Because I can sort of resonate with it. It's very down to earth kind of book. There's not a lot of like there's not a lot of fuss in it, and I don't really like a lot of fuss. I like stuff that's very easy to sort of read, or stuff that's just sort of simple to the mind, if that makes sense. I read Helen Duncan's book. Helen Duncan was an excellent physical trance medium. And I really did like her story of the fact that she was a working mom with, 8 children, and was still demonstrating and working, doing trance all over the country in SNU churches and private events there. So I could sort of really resonate that with the fact that, not that because she was a physical medium, but because she was a working mother like me who still worked for the spirit world there. And then there's Red Cloud's book that I read, which I love, which is Estelle Roberts' guide, in which I really, really do sort of resonate with where he comes from with connections to the spirit world, because it's very much more or less what my guides expressed or spoken to me about, which I wasn't aware of until I actually read that book, that I could get one guide that talks like that, and then there was another guide many, many years ago who also spoke like that. I mean, have I read Silver Birch's books and stuff like that? Yeah, but to be honest with you, I can't resonate with that. It's a bit stuffy for my liking, and it's a bit too restrictive, if you ask me. That's just my personal choice and belief there on them books that I've read. Some of it I can sort of resonate with, and I can take and think, and sort of say where you're coming from that type of thing. But can I resonate with it all? I've got to be honest with you, no. I've read a couple of ones on psychic surgery and soul contracts and physical mediumship and things like that, but they're more just sort of guides or workshop books or whatever it may be. But they probably are what I would recommend there. So do I have an idol, Julie? No, not really. Do I have, what inspires me? Just to be me every day, and my people and things. So I hope that answered the question there a little bit for you, Julie. Becky, no problem, Becky. So Julie's saying, is a spirit guide and a communicator both different? A spirit guide and a communicator is different, yes. So a spirit guide is a person who is given to you from the spirit world in order to be able to work with you, to assist you, to take care of you, to sort of work alongside you within the spirit world. So monitoring your energy, maybe doing things that are spiritually based, that obviously a human can't do, keeping your communicators in a line, you know, this type of thing. They have many jobs and many purposes, some that I don't know about and probably never will get to know about because none of my businesses I get told. And I only get to know what I need to know from the spirit world or from my guide there. I don't really know any more or any less than that. With a communicator is a really posh word, sweetheart, for your loved ones. Basically, it's just a more professional word than saying your loved ones. So communicator is your loved ones. A spirit guide is a person who will oversee you, help you, monitor you, help you to grow, move forward, whatever purpose or thing that the spirit world have designed that guide for in order to be with you, or whatever it is that you feel that you need from that guide there. So I hope that answers the question, Julie. Debbie saying, always be the ones, the best out there. I've got no intention, Julie, Debbie, sorry, of ever changing as a person. Will I change the way I do things? Oh, of course. But will I ever change me as a person? No, because I really do quite like me. And I know that a lot of people probably struggle with that. But I would say it's one of the biggest lessons in life is to like you as a person, is to get you, because nobody else will ever get you. And I tell you something else I really like is the fact that there's only ever one of you out there. You're unique in every way. There's no one person, there's only you, like you, walking the earth plane. So I really, really do sort of I value that in a lot of respects, and I really do like being me. And I don't always like the things I do, I've got to be honest with you, but do I like me as a person? Yeah, because the good far outweighs the bad. I mean, I make mistakes just like everybody else, and I say things that, you know, probably I shouldn't say, and I do things that I probably shouldn't do. But that is again part of my path and part of my learning, if that makes sense. So I just really do like being me, and if there's anything that I can really say to you is learn to be you no matter what you do. And you know, the right people will love you for the right reasons, and the people who don't, well, they were never really meant to be with you anyway. So that's the way I look at things now. My life or my outlook on things is a lot different now. You know, I look at things so differently to what I did 4 or 5 years ago. And is that because I work as a medium? I'm not quite sure on that one. Maybe. But do I think it's also because as you get older, you don't sort of allow certain things to bother you like you did? Yeah, probably. I think it's sort of a as you get older and you become more aware of you, and you know, become more confident of you. You just sort of don't feed into that drama, or you don't get into that drama. And you know, some people you'll be able to, you know, explain yourself and they'll understand you. Other people, it'll just blow clean over their heads there. Best advice I can give you as a medium, or as just a general person here, is just be you no matter what you do. Julie saying, we love you. I find you so fascinating, very interesting. Listen, well, thank you very much for that, Julie. I really do appreciate that. And I get beautiful comments from you, not only here but also on my Facebook page, and you know, and it's the same sort of thing time and time again. You know, Danielle, you're really real. You know, you're funny. You are who you are. And that's exactly it. That's exactly what you'll see. And nothing will ever change here. I've been this way for the last, how long have I been on the platform? Maybe it's about 2 years now. And nothing's changed. I'm still the same person. I still talk about the same things. And my ego hasn't stepped out. And do I think my ego will ever step out? No, probably not. Because I'm not that kind of girl. I'll always fight for what I believe in, because I'm quite passionate in that respect. But, you know, do I think I'm ever going to change? Nah, I don't think I am. I think I'm always going to be this way for some unholy reason, but that's another thing anyway. So, any more questions about the spirit world or anything else that you'd like to talk about me? Again, apologies on, you know, sort of the different side of the room here, but upstairs is busy at this time, and it's like you want to say it, that's like Manic City, but what can I do? Sorry, I'm late. The granddaughter to feed. It's all right, Louise. Don't worry. I understand that people have family things and people can't always get like they'd like to, or whatever it may be. Your hair looks nice. Do you like it? It's very pretty, isn't it? Very rainbowy. I'm really excited to be going down to Bridgewater on Monday as well. I'm going down to do some work down there with a good friend of mine, Gary Mannion, and I'm going to be watching some seances and doing some trance work and things down there. So I'm really looking forward to being down there on Monday. It's a great passion of mine, trance and things, and he's an excellent teacher. So I'm really excited to be back down there with him and the group that I've built down there as well. I have such a lovely group of people down there, and I feel like I'm at home when I'm down there as well. It's like going from home to home. I rang a good friend of mine today, and I says I'm coming Monday, and they were like, oh yeah, I was like yes, and they were like, we can't wait to see you, Danielle. And it feels like home down there. I feel like I don't have to pretend. I just feel like I just slot in, and it's really easy going. If you've ever got an opportunity to go to this place, it's down in Bridgewater. I'll put a link up in the box for you there, and you can certainly take a look. It's awesome. It's an awesome place. Make sure you come home. I'll be home. I'll not leave you alone, Catherine, I promise. Well, is there anything else that you just want to ask me? If not, then I'm going to dash, because I do have a meeting at 8 o'clock where actually I think 7:30 if I'm not mistaken. So if yous are all finished and happy with what yous have got, then I will love yous and leave yous. So any other questions, I'll give a couple of minutes before I go. While I'm doing that, I'll do the quick intro. Please do share the video around. I'll be really grateful to yous. Spirit class will be available tomorrow for yous all. I hope yous like it. I hope that yous gain so much from it, because I really want yous to there, and I really want yous to understand it to the best of your ability. And please do invite your friends and get them to come on over and see what it's all about, and see if they're sort of interested in it as well. And whatever you do, have a great evening. And it's always a pleasure to talk about the spirit world, and it's always a pleasure for you to watch me as well. So thank you very much. I'm really grateful to you. I'm very humbled, and here's to a more positive and certainly more brighter 6 months for me and for all of you as well. All right, if that's the case, then I'm going to dash, and I will see you all probably on the Facebook page at the weekend. All right, so bye for now, everybody. Big kisses, you lot. Bye.